Firstly, let me confirm my mandate on behalf of the Nakedi family. I'm also place it on record that my instruction is to do a watching brief. So what that means is to make sure that the investigation and the subsequent prosecution happens in accordance with the prescripts. It is not my job or my duty to tell the prosecution and the investigators how to do their job. But I serve as a buffer between the family as well as the law enforcement agencies to explain the processes so that they can see that the law is not failing them. That is the first thing. The second mandate that I have is to institute civil proceedings. That is for financial reparations as well as other ancillary relief. And that is quite independent of what happens to the criminal case. So we are going to sue the culprits, irrespective of whether they are found guilty or not guilty. But that is something that we will do in the future. At the moment, we are gathering the necessary evidence to make sure that the identified suspects are prosecuted and are prosecuted successfully. Of course, we respect their rights. So what happened was, after my engagement and my involvement with the chief senior prosecutor, 2 suspects were identified. They were apprehended yesterday. They appeared on charges of common assault. They were released on warning and they are appearing on the 25th of January. When they made their appearance, the 3rd suspect who was identified had not yet been apprehended. That's why the 2 appeared on their own. He was later apprehended and kept in the cells overnight, and he is appearing before court today, possibly for a bail application, which is his right. If that bail gets granted, we suspect that this case may be postponed similarly to the 25th of January so that all 3 of them can then appear at the same time. The one who's appearing today is facing charges of attempted murder, which was initially said to be common assault. From my discussions with the state prosecutor, he independently agreed that in fact, having reviewed the material before him, it ought to be attempted murder, and we're grateful for that. He is also facing a charge of common assault and criminal injury for having allegedly used the K word, which you all know is unacceptable. But that's where the criminal case is at the moment. What is going to happen when you get into court? His legal representatives, whoever they are going to probably stand up and bring a bail application, which may or may not be granted by the court. And if that is granted, we'll come back and communicate that it has been granted and similarly postponed to whatever date. My guess will be the 25th of January. Between now and the 25th of January, we are collaborating with the police and the NPA in terms of sharing the information that we too have, because my clients have obtained some other useful material, and it's only fair that we share it with the police so that the police can do their work. Yes, the police must be commended for the manner in which they responded. It didn't drop like manna from heaven. There was pressure. We were pushing from behind, and the good development is that this case docket has now been moved from the local police station. It is now handled at provincial level, which is news that my clients welcome, because they now have the reassurance that without preempting the outcome, but at least this matter is attended to. And they are a lot calmer now because I am conveying information to them as their lawyer. And in fairness to the chief state prosecutor, he is also being transparent. We had a meeting with the father yesterday where the entire process was explained, and the family is satisfied. They are not even here. Only the father will be joining me because they accept that the matter is in capable hands. So that's how we're going to be running it. And we are appealing to people, in spite of the support that my clients welcome, let's maintain cool heads, allow the rule of law to unfold, because this case is not going away. I can assure you, we are going to see to it that justice is not only done, but it is seen to be done. Let us respect the accused person as well. He too has got rights. Let us not prejudice the very case of people that we claim to care about. And we are going to be making sure that we leave no stone unturned. But a good thing that I can tell you now is that from the management of the resort side, we also have additional information and footage that we are passing on to the state, to the police, so that they can make of it whatever they want. Because our job is to collaborate and assist. And whatever the court decides, we will welcome it. And at the same time, because of the collaboration, I will also be getting useful information from the state, which I will use for purposes of civil litigation, because we are definitely going to sue. There's no doubt about it. The boys, as I'm talking to you now, currently are getting counseling I have a team of volunteers. Some of them come from the government departments, others are private, people who are doctors and psychiatrists. And I said to them, look, my job is to assemble a team and manage the proceedings. So if people are willing to come out and assist, my clients will welcome that assistance. It's not about me. It's about us making sure that we ameliorate the trauma that these children have gone through. Incidentally, these children were born post-democracy, so they don't even understand these issues, And this is where I had to come in and explain to the family, to say, calm down. These children are your 2000s, and they tend to want to speak at every turn. And we said, please hang 10, because we don't want them to start saying things that in the fullness of time, when this case goes to trial, they happen to mess up their very own case. And young as they are, they apologize, they understood. So as matters stand, I will be the only one communicating on behalf of the family as and when it is necessary. And I will be guided in terms of what I communicate, because I too must not prejudice the investigation. But as matters stand now, we are all satisfied that the matter is getting due attention. And for your interest, as I indicated before you came online, the family also indicated that in the event there were to be an application for the right of leader to access the courthouse, their instructions was not to oppose that, in fact to support it, which we've done, and that is why your application was granted. So that this matter, because of the public nature, we open up the courts and let people see for themselves. And maybe society will understand that sometimes it's not necessary to take the law into their own hands. We've got a legal system that works, but we must support it and not frustrate it ourselves.